Matt Nagy.
Okay,
so check this out. I used to work at I used to work for the phone company in Illinois. It used to be called Ameritech. This is over 20 some odd years ago, right?
Okay.
And there was a guy there, right? And he had set up some ring in the system where he would like steal like credit card numbers and everything, right? And so we get this code, this error code that comes across the screen, and it lets you know that something weird happened and that this person was ultimately going to get fired, even though they hadn't got fired yet. We knew we're going to call this guy Jeffrey. We knew Jeffrey was going to get fired because we saw this error code on the screen and we knew that it was attached to Jeffrey. The error code is on the screen for Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy's going to get fired.
Jeffrey has struck again.
Jeffrey's coming for Matt Nagy. You know,
Jeffrey's the voice of Jack Nicholson.
The ghost of Jeffrey is coming for Matt. He's going to get fired. So we know this is going to happen. So who is the best replacement for this guy who we know his departure from the sidelines in Chicago is imminent? Mr. Sanudo.
So I think one of you is going to take maybe Joe Brady, offensive mastermind in Carolina. And I like Joe Brady. I think he has a lot of qualities, but guess what? Sometimes when, you put an offensive mastermind in the second or third year, aka Adam Gase. I know Adam Gase stunk, and we all knew Adam Gase was going to be bad. But I don't know.
Crazy Adam.
What? Yeah.
Crazy Adam.
Yeah.
I don't know. His eyes were the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not saying Joe Brady will be Adam Gase, but I think a better coach suited for Fields would be a guy that, controls the defense. You bring in a good offensive coordinator that knows what he's doing. And I would go with Vance Joseph. I might be a little bit biased. I'm an Arizona Cardinals, beat writer, but let me tell you, Vance Joseph, have we been watching the Cardinals the last 2 years? I guess with those faces, you haven't been watching the Cardinals because the Cardinals have been an up-and-coming defense the last 2-3 years. And you want to say, okay, Vance Joseph was bad in Denver. Well, guess what? Did you look at the quarterbacks in Denver? I mean, Trevor Siemian was one of the quarterbacks. Brock Osweiler, do you know him? Yeah, he was in Denver as well. Can you win with that? Can you win with Brock Osweiler? No, you can't. Vance Joseph.
Didn't they win a Super Bowl with Brock Osweiler?
Yeah, no.
Osweiler was number 3.
Not when he was playing. Not when he was.
Yeah, that's right.
He was like in the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in that state. Yeah.
Brock Osweiler had nothing to do with that Broncos Super Bowl in Super Bowl 50. Vance Joseph, NFL's best 8 games of 2021, holding opponents to 20 or fewer. I mean, you want to say, okay, Vance Joseph has bad history in Denver. Guess what? He head coached the Cardinals against the Browns when Kingsbury went out with COVID. And you know what? They lit the Browns on fire. Baker Mayfield did nothing. The running backs did nothing. So Vance Joseph, I would give him a second try. I mean, a lot of coaches get second tries. I mean, why not Vance Joseph? I mean, This is I'm telling you, I don't know. What are those faces, Paul?
It's disgusting.
What are those faces?
Vance Joseph gives you bad memories with the Jets.
He said it's disgusting. I don't know. Paul, go next. Tell us why it's disgusting, and then tell us who your best replacement is.
Because, first I'll say this again, too. Benjamin Albright, you know him. The Bears are actually looking at Vance Joseph as well. And they've been looking at other guys as well. But Vance Joseph...
Please don't.
What?
So I'm just telling them, please don't. No, go ahead.
No, what? What were you going to say?
I got to say that if I was running the Bears operation, Vance Joseph would be on my short list of people to never call. Like, get his phone number so I can lose it. I just have to say.
What did he do to you? Oh, my God.
Jeffrey.
Vance Joseph hurt him.
Oh, my God.
Jeffrey.
So, obviously what happened in Denver was an epic and utter disaster. I mean, that was just terrible. It was almost Josh McDaniels level bad in Denver with that whole implosion. Like, it was disgusting. The other thing is that I know we were throwing shade at guys like Brock Osweiler, but if we, again, revisionist history sometimes clouds our judgment here. Oh, Peyton Manning won that Super Bowl. The limp carcass of Peyton Manning's soul won that Super Bowl, but in key moments in the middle of the season when Peyton Manning's goose limp noodle arm couldn't go, guess who they had to go to? Look at the stats, baby. It was Brock Osweiler. Without Brock Osweiler,
you're talking about Brock Osweiler? Are we You're laughing at
Are we seriously talking about Brock Osweiler?
Oh
This
my
is the Brock
god!
Osweiler.
What are we doing here, folks? What are we
Who would
doing?
have thought he made it on the show? So you want to know what? That the Broncos were able to find a way to maximize Brock Osweiler when Vance Joseph wasn't running the ship. And guess what? Like I said, they won a freaking Super Bowl with him being the key role to getting them.
Brock Osweiler did have a 5-2 QB record that year.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Who would have thought that? I guess boy does spit some truth every once in a while.
Mind blown that we're talking about Brock Osweiler.
I didn't think we were going to talk about Brock Osweiler today, but I mean,
That's a surprise too.
Go ahead, keep going.
But the point is, if the Broncos can win a Super Bowl with him and then Vance Joseph comes in and does what? Nothing is what he does. So you want to know what? No. Vance Joseph, he got his chance in the sun. He blew it. You know what? Some guys have it, and some guys are Vance Joseph.
Well, it wasn't the year after. It wasn't the year after the Super Bowl.
I know, but still.
It wasn't the year after.
He just doesn't have it. It's okay. You can be a guy. You can be a guy, but he's not the guy. We need some sizzle. We need some zest with the Chicago Bears, not this blah. They're coming from Nagy. So really anyone, quite frankly, to get transition to my answer here, is that who's the best fit? Literally anyone is a better fit than Nagy. So, I mean, Sanudo, I don't know what your schedule's looking like next fall. You're in the running. Reina, everybody. Everyone, as far as I'm concerned, is
I mean, I'm a pretty good PR.
Jeffrey.
Wait, let me say this. I'm pretty good PR, but that's like a double negative. Anybody could be better than Nagy. I guess Vance Joseph could be better than Nagy. So, I mean, I pretty much went up to him, Matt. Like, that's like... I don't know, like, what you're doing here.
I will say this. If I was running the ship, one guy that I'll throw out there, and I know the name doesn't have the sizzle of, like, random names we've heard over the years, like, you know, Bill Cowher and, you know, some of those kind of crazy guys. Brian Daboll is the man for the job. And I know, again, Buffalo's kind of down right now, so everyone's like, Daboll who? But you want to know what? Look what he did to Josh Allen. That scrub, okay? That dude who couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. That's what Josh Allen was in the first couple years of his career. A 50-something% completion percentage. That was disgusting. Guess what? Brian Daboll went to Hogwarts, and we didn't know it. It wasn't on his Wikipedia page. He waved his magic wand, and Josh Allen was an MVP contender. Coincidence? I think not. That's what he can do with Justin Fields. The Bears finally have something. They haven't had something like this since Ryan McMahon. And even Ryan McMahon, let's be honest here.
Jim McMahon, and he was not.
Jim McMahon, excuse me.
Yeah, Jim McMahon.
But the point is that, again, we're getting into all of this.
Ryan McMahon is the second baseman for the Rockies.
Yeah. So mix that up. So they haven't had one since him either. The point is they haven't had a guy. They have a guy, and I don't want them to ruin them. I love Justin Fields. He's the long-lost son I've never had. I want him to have success.
I can totally see the
People can lead him to success. That's Josh Allen and Justin Fields are very similar in a lot of different ways. I want to see him have success. I believe Daboll can get the best out of him, and Daboll's been picky. He had choices last year to be a head coach, but he's been biding his time. I think this could be the perfect opportunity. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be leaving that division. Kirk Cousins, okay. And then look at what are the Lions doing? I don't think even the Lions know what the Lions are doing. So again, the division looks prime. Justin Fields is a star. You add all that up together, that's a good landing spot, man.
I don't hate it, and so I'm born and raised in Chicago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Live and breathe Bulls, Bears. I love the Cubs. I always tell people.
Blackhawks. What about Blackhawks?
I mean, when they win, I'm totally not a hardcore fan. Like, but Bulls, Bears. I'm married to the Cubs. I just date the White Sox.
Okay.
It's kind of how it is, right? So, here's the thing. So I don't hate it, but the best person for the job, in my opinion, is Joe Brady. And I was never more sure that Joe Brady was the right guy until I saw the game plan he put together for Cam Newton in like freaking 72 hours. Okay, so Justin Fields, one of his mentors, was Cam Newton. He's often been compared to Cam Newton. Similar physical kinds of styles. Overall, it's not quite as big as Cam Newton, but a little faster than Cam Newton.
Jersey number.
Arm is better than Cam's. He has just more natural arm talent than Cam. Cam's arm is not as bad as people will lead you to believe, but Justin Fields has an elite level, can make every throw there ever was kind of an arm, right? So, but when I look at what Joe Brady put together in a short period of time for Cam Newton, in my opinion, he literally created an audition tape for the Bears and said, you want a dude that can handle that special talent that you just traded up for to get with the number 11 pick? Let me show you what I'm going to do with his freaking mentor, who is more physically limited than this beast that you have right now. So I'm just saying, I just showed you what I'm going to do with your guy. And the great thing about it is Joe Brady's age. He's such a young guy. You're not getting a guy who's going to be, in 3 to 5 years, he's like, I need to go and be home with the family because I've been coaching so long and I miss my kids growing up and all of this. Joe Brady is 32 years old and he just turned 32 in September. Like literally him and Cam Newton are the same age. That's insane, right? And so when you look at the fact that he's able to, he's going to have this rapport with Cam Newton. Cam Newton has rapport with Justin Fields. Cam Newton can speak to Justin Fields about the experiences that he's had with this coordinator, who would then potentially be his head coach. In the NFL, things are all about these connections, these lines that are drawn from this coordinator to this head coach to this player to that sort of thing. There is a beautiful symmetry that is being created with Joe Brady and a talent like Justin Fields. And Joe Brady's so young, he can literally sit up and wait for the best opportunity. And the Chicago Bears head coaching job, when you win in Chicago, you become a king of the city. And as a 32-year-old up-and-coming coordinator who's one of the hottest names in the NFL, what franchise would you more want to go and revive? You, and you're aligning yourself with Justin Fields? It's like a new age Brady Belichick. It's, and you got an opportunity to build this over time because you're young and he's young.
I like that. The one thing I would add is that is such a risky hire, but sometimes you got to risk it to get the biscuit. And wow, what a pairing that could be.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah. What about you, Lorenzo?
Jeffrey. That's my pick. No, I'm playing.
You got to get Jeff because the code came across the screen.
Nah, you know what, Ryan? I'm going to back you up on the defensive side, but I'm going to go with a surprise name. And I don't care if I get laughed at. I'm going to stick with this guy.
Dick Vermeil.
I'm going to go back in time. No, I'm going to go back in time. So Chicago has stunk it up with an offensive guy recently, Matt Nagy, and then before that, Mark Trestman. But they were successful with defensive coaches, notably Lovie Smith. So I'm thinking you could go back in time. You could get a guy who won a Super Bowl recently. Those linebackers could maybe perhaps revitalize Khalil Mack. Todd Bowles. I'm thinking Todd Bowles deserves another chance.
I can understand why you say that. The Bears would have to change their entire defensive philosophy, though, because he doesn't run the same system. And so they literally would have to turn their roster over because their roster's built around 3-4. and he's running like a different kind of system, which I believe if you got the right horses, obviously, because they won the Super Bowl last year, I believe if you got the right horses, you can win. Running just about any kind of a scheme. I mean, I don't think nobody can run out there and run the 46 anymore. The rule.
Nah, that's a thing of the past.
You can't hit anybody anymore, so you just can't run that like that.
And you don't have the fridge.
Yeah, well, that's a bunch of people that. I mean, Aaron Donald is. He's the fridge. He's the freezer. He is he's a
mini fridge. He's not even built like the fridge. He's a mini fridge.
But he's just as impacting. He sucks in 2 blockers, the whole 9.
Yeah.
But I just thought obviously you can't run that system. But I do believe you can win 4-3-3-4, whatever these different exotic types of looks. It's interesting. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't be like pissed. But I really like the concept of Joe Brady. I think if I had to rank them, I'd probably go Joe Brady number 1, and the tied for 2 would be Daboll and Bowles.
And who would be last?
Who would be last? Jeffrey?
Yeah. Vance Joseph I'm not excited about it at all. I would not. Like,
see, I thought it would be like maybe Todd Bowles with Paul, but Vance Joseph. I know Todd Bowles.
I'm going to tell you, if they hired Vance Joseph, we would lose our mind in Chicago. We'd be like, what? What?
Yeah, but the water's a little unintelligent in Chicago. I mean, something in the water. Something in the water over there.
I would be like, what? Like, I mean, here's the thing. When you have struggled and and this is the biggest reason why I wouldn't want him, right? When you've struggled and you're coming off a head coach who has failed, the last thing you want is another head coach who last time he was a head coach, he failed miserably. It's a very tough sell to a fan base.
Yeah, see the context. I told Paul earlier. Did you look at the quarterbacks with those rosters?
Yeah, I get it.
Paxton Lynch. Did you know Paxton Lynch?
Yeah, Paxton Lynch. I remember.
Or Drew Lock.
I actually thought he was going to be pretty solid, but
Case Keenum the year after, I think he had 18 touchdowns, 15 picks. Does that have to do with Vance Joseph, the defensive guy?
I mean, I understand what you're saying.
I think it's the perception.
I'm saying it is.
But you don't do this.
That is a very tough sale. That's a very tough sale.
I think the only thing that I agree with you guys has to be the perception when it comes to Vance Joseph. Like I said earlier, I'm probably biased, covering the Cardinals with Vance Joseph, but man, Vance Joseph, what if the Cardinals win the Super Bowl this year with that defense? And
I think that definitely helps. I think that
helps him elevate him.
It definitely helps his perception because, but here's the thing: if the Cardinals win the Super Bowl, their defense is not going to be what gets the most push and love. I mean, you got Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins.
It's both.
I obviously, you can't win the Super Bowl if you like to have a sucky defense. But I'm just, when you are a part of a fan base of a team that has struggled, trying to sell me on a guy whose career head coaching record is 11-21, it's like, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, he just revived the defense. But, I also think there's something to be said. Some guys are just coordinators. And that's okay. That's just what you are. You're a coordinator. And you're a doggone good one. And
well, then with the Jets, then you have Robert Saleh. Then he's just a coordinator, and
we don't know yet, though, right? We don't know yet because so far the Jets suck, right? So that might be the case. That might be the case, And it looked like Belichick was that guy, because he goes to Cleveland and he sucks big time, But
or Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan, and so sometimes a guy does need a second chance, but it's just tough to give him a second chance in a city like this, fresh off of a bad coach.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know if this is this is where the second chance should come.
But I like the idea of Vance Joseph, but he would do better in a small market city.
I think so. I think if Urban Meyer gets fired because he had an affair with some secretaries or something.
Or the grind.
Yeah, something. I think Vance Joseph taking the Jacksonville job would be fantastic.